All right, here we go. We already know BYU has punched one ticket into the national championship game. Who will the Cougars face? About to find out. It's Gonzaga, one of the top seeds in the tournament, against number 3 Seton Hall, and so glad to have you with us once again here in San Antonio. With Mike Abelson, I'm Alex Perlman, and Mike, this should be a high-flying matchup. Two teams that love to score the basketball. Seton Hall has been in at least the 90s every game in the tournament, including breaking 100 in the Elite Eight win. And for Gonzaga, they are the highest scoring team in the country this season, averaging 87 points per game this year.
Yeah, we talked in the pre-production meeting about there's going to be a lot of dunks, there's going to be a lot of jump shots. I think my prediction was let's get this into 200-plus combined points because these teams have the firepower to get it done.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised to see it. They will need a much better game from Miles Powell, though, averaging 21 points per game. He only scored 12, and they were all towards the end of Seton Hall's win over Baylor in the Elite Eight. Tip is won away by Seton Hall, and we are underway for a shot at the national championship game. Seton Hall, the lower seed, they are in their technically road blues. Here is Miles Powell to start things off, and a much better beginning after the feed from Mamukilashvili.
Is that what you were asking for, Alex? Because one shot, one bucket's a pretty good start for the star from Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah, you certainly know that they are going to need to do that, but Kispert with the feed, and Gonzaga on the board is Admon Gilder, the grad transfer from Texas A&M, the first scorer for Gonzaga.
Excuse me, Powell, of course, from Trenton, Seton Hall in the Newark area.
And a bit too much there with the right hand by Kispert, and McKnight will go to the free throw line where he is an 85% shooter. He is the best on the team for Seton Hall. And you wouldn't have told me this, and I don't know what my reaction would have been if at the beginning of the tournament you said Quincy McKnight would be the leading scorer for Seton Hall in this tournament. But that is how it has shaken out. 18 points, and how about the average of 6 assists per game in the tournament this year as McKnight hits both.
Well, we've seen a lot of players like that. You know, Mark Vidal for Baylor had an amazing tournament. Oscar Tshiebwe for West Virginia just got eliminated earlier tonight. I mean, he had a great season, but his tournament numbers were out of this world. Just players stepping up when their teams need them.
There's Killian Tilly who gets the role. This senior, originally from France, averaged almost 14 points per game this year. Member of the first team All-West Coast Conference as well. Seton Hall shared a Big East title with Creighton and Villanova this year. They would have been the 1 seed in the Big East tournament. Off the mark as Kispert rips it down, and we are tied early on here in the Final Four in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome. Filip Petrushev hits on his first attempt. The sophomore is the reigning West Coast Conference Player of the Year and a second-team All-American.
Nah, a bad pair. Just a sophomore, 6'11", 235 out of Belgrade.
And there's no doubt about it, Mike, that they are going to need him going forward as well, because this is a very experienced team. And Mark Few, in his 21st year now, is going to lose some big numbers in Woolridge, Gilder, and Tilly coming up.
You know, both of these teams got some really good senior players. You know, of course, Powell and McKnight. He's not playing. He's been out since the second round, but Romaro Gill will never wear Seton Hall blue again as Mamu picks up a nice steal.
He talked about Gill, who unfortunately the 7-2 rim protector broke his toe in the second round win for Seton Hall over Texas Tech, was third in Division I in blocks per game this year with over 3 per contest. And that sits out. Offensive rebound, and there's the putback, though. Roden going to work. Jaron Roden, a sophomore from Baldwin, New York.
Quietly has had a really good tournament. You know, 5 points here. Oh, what a rotten pass. You know, but Roden, 4 points here, a steal there, a rebound here. the type of things that may get lost in a box score where you have Miles Powell or Quincy McKnight going for 20 plus. But Roden has been an absolute necessity for this Seton Hall team.
You see Powell flirting with the backcourt, but I guess he never got his full body behind the line. And he'll still have it and fire away for three. Not this time, but Mamu with a big rebound. Sandru Mamakilishvili, the junior from Georgia, the country, played at the Montverde Academy in his prep ball.
Seton Hall doing a great job of
spreading
out.
Sorry, Mike.
Seton Hall doing a great job of spreading out Gonzaga's defense, and Powell had a good look, couldn't get it to fall. They need to do more of that and not let Gonzaga just crowd in.
And back the other way, almost a three-point play, but instead it is going to be free throws coming up for Admon Gilder.
The Reddit Premium Free Throw Cam in the first half is brought to you by Zima. A few degrees cooler, Zima.
We could all use some Zima these days.
Hey, it's my favorite bad alcohol brand, so I'm all about it.
And so evened up at 8, just 3.5 minutes into this one between Seton Hall and Gonzaga. The Bulldogs, an easy choice for one of the 4 top seeds here in this tournament. 35-2 on the year. They won their 8th straight WCC regular season title, 15-1 on the year. And if they win today, they face BYU, who was that one team that got them in conference play. Did it in Provo on senior night.
I mean, we were talking in the pregame, looking up the last time that the national title game was a matchup between 2 teams from the same conference. You have to go all the way back to the Kansas-Oklahoma final from 1988, back when the conference was known as the Big 8 Conference.
And then before that, I mean, who could forget in 1985 that incredible national championship run by Villanova and Raleigh Massimino taking down Georgetown, a couple of Big East schools tangling there. So what you're saying, Mike, it doesn't happen very often.
No, it does not.
Swatted away. Petrushev goes down to get it after the block as well. Seton Hall sticking with Gonzaga early on. The Bulldogs have been to every NCAA tournament since 1999. This year was no different. And there is Kispert kissing it off the glass, plus the foul.
For more than a century, Frank's Diner has been a Spokane gem. Located in a historic train car, Frank's has all the diner classics. Stop in and taste the history at Frank's Diner.
It seems you are a really big fan of diners, Mike, and you know what?
Oh, I'm a sucker for a diner.
Yeah, and I don't blame you one bit.
A nice 24-hour spot, oh, the best.
2-point edge for Gonzaga. Powell running the offense, gets it to the point guard, McKnight, and right back to Powell it goes. There's Ike Obiagu, who just came in for Miles Kale with those 2 early fouls. Obiagu, the sophomore from Nigeria, a Florida State transfer, standing in at 7'2", 265.
Yeah, you look at this front line for Seton Hall with Mamu and Obiagu. Pick your poison.
McKnight, not enough. Ryan Woolridge with the ball now, the redshirt senior from Mansfield, Texas. You talked about that backcourt has really been Texas-controlled this year. Woolridge from North Texas, Admon Gilder from Texas A&M. Woolridge averaging 7.5 assists per game in the tournament. McKnight versus Woolridge in this point guard matchup is outstanding. This time it's Roden getting his hand to it. Seton Hall's played great defensively this tournament, haven't they? We know they can score, but the defense has been off the charts.
Yeah, and again, who is it but Jared Roden? Right place, right time.
And Gilder's going to pick up the foul there as Obiagu goes to the line. That's 6-4 versus 7-2.
Shooting 2.
The Reddit virtual tournament is brought to you by Zaire. Make Zaire your store.
You got to give me something more there. Got tell the listeners what we're talking about here.
I mean, Zaire, one of the great retail chains in American history. Go down to your local Zaire. They have anything you would ever need.
Trying to cut the deficit to 1 here for Seton Hall. And Obiagu does just that. He only shoots 58% this season from the stripe, but so far in the tournament, he has been much, much better with 6 of 7 in that Elite Eight win over Baylor.
And we saw how precarious free throws can make a game earlier tonight with West Virginia having a tough go of it versus BYU was nearly flawless.
They have been such a good three-point shooting team as well. I mean, over this season, they were the best from beyond the arc in BYU this year. Gonzaga, no slouch either, shooting 43% as a team from beyond the arc in this tournament. 39% for the season as Obiagu can't hit, but the big man gets it back. He is stripped, and it's put back in by McKnight. We have yet to see a 3, though, in this game from Gonzaga.
Now look at Quincy McKnight. Tilly, 6'10", Killian Tilly is in there. 6'11", Petrushev is in there. And it's the point guard coming in clutch.
Yeah, go figure. So Seton Hall back on top. Gonzaga extremely deep as well. The only team in Division I to have 6 players averaging double figures. One of those, of course, Corey Kispert, who's 14 points per game, just behind Filip Petrushev for the most on the team. He had 17.5 per contest. Now just 5 to shoot. This is Kispert with a couple of pump fakes. Missed the 15-footer. Offensive board, no on the second effort for Petrushev, but the third for Tilly is going to earn him free throws as Roden picks up his first.
Chance for the Zags to take the lead here. Folks, again, remember, Monday night, we're giving out a trophy. It'll be BYU against the winner of this game. We'll be here with you to take you through it. National championship game, Monday night of the Reddit virtual tournament.
Yeah, looking forward to that right here at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. And whoever wins, whether it's Gonzaga or Seton Hall, that is setting up for a fascinating final. Gonzaga and the Pirates can absolutely light up the scoreboard, and we saw for BYU a high-flying team themselves. And if you don't play defense beyond the arc, you got a very good chance of being beat.
And, of course, Gonzaga should know what they're getting into if they win this game and get to the Cougars.
They split the season series against BYU. Got them at home, and their only conference loss on the road. Powell, what a move!
Miles Powell finally gets back on the board after making his first bucket. He's gone cold for the last 7 minutes or so. Puts the Pirates back on top.
Powell won the Jerry West Award, which is given out every year to the top shooting guard in the country, was a consensus first-team All-American. It'll be very interesting to see in the draft coming up because he is a senior. He cannot return to Seton Hall. Where he goes, if he does, because it's not a foregone conclusion, Mike, that he's going to get drafted.
You know, it's the fact that, again, these guys could test the waters is a wonderful thing. There's only 60 players picked, and they're not all from the American college system. So having a chance to get graded is a huge advantage for these guys.
8 minutes gone, 2-point edge for the Pirates. We've not seen much transition yet here from Gonzaga. Mostly set shots and putbacks. Tilly beyond the arc. Woolridge, the point guard, feeds down low. Tilly blocked away by Mamu.
Get up there, big man. Swat it away like the fly that it is.
Pirates looking to take advantage with Roden, who started 12 games in Big East play, was 43% from beyond the arc in conference action. He was a big part of what they did from three-point land. He's got the ball right there. Long two. Not this time for McKnight. Tilly with the left. No. We have seen some easy shots not go down for both teams.
Well, also, I will say, in his credit, Mamu and Roden, just all sorts of harassing right there.
Great look inside to Roden. Quick feed from Powell for 2.
And look at that, Powell looking off the defense, looking into the corner, slingshots that one right in, bang, 4-point lead for Seton Hall.
You think of Powell as a scorer, no question, but he is averaging 6 assists in the 4 games this tournament. Petrushev goes to work with the feet. Transition now for Powell and Seton Hall. And they'll settle things down as Gonzaga gets back on defense. Maybe not as high scoring as we had expected coming in. Just a 16-12 edge for the Pirates.
Yeah, I was almost expecting this game to be up both teams north of 25 by now. But after some hot shooting in the first 2 minutes, they've gone cold.
Just inside the 3-point arc, Seton Hall off. They'll get the offensive rebound, though, as Obiagu snares his 3rd. Seton Hall making its 5th straight NCAA tournament appearance under Kevin Willard. It's their 2nd Final Four in school history. Also 1989 when they lost the national championship to Michigan. Both of these 2 teams, Mike, playing in their 2nd Final Four, and maybe even more interesting, the first time they did win that game, but lost in the national championship.
That is very true. Gonzaga losing to North Carolina, Seton Hall losing to Ramil Robinson in Michigan.
It's the first time now for Gonzaga off the bench. We see Joel Ayayi, who is a redshirt sophomore from France. He was the WCC tournament most outstanding player, averaging 14 points, 8 rebounds in those 3 games. And you'll see him battling down low towards the bottom of your screen, number 11 in white for Gonzaga.
Gonzaga only dressing 9, both teams actually only dressing 9 players. So if fouls rack up, this could be a problem for both teams.
Now just 3 on the shot clock for Woolridge, who has to hoist. Definitely not his shot, though.
Don't shoot it from the logo if you don't have to. Oh,
They're going to count that?
Look at Miles Powell. You see this guy right here?
Nope.
They're not going to count it.
On the floor.
That was a whole lot of excitement for a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, I was going to say, much ado about nothing there. Powell can't hit his triple. Seton Hall up 6, Gonzaga with the ball.
Goodness, Petrushev almost just walked out of bounds. Those lines, they sneak up on you.
Yeah, they sure do. Always got to know where you are on the court. Even if you're a team that's only lost 2 games this year, lines are the same for everybody. 12 to shoot now as Gilder has it poked free, gets it right back. Spins a couple times in the lane and draws the foul on McKnight. Though luckily for Seton Hall, that's only his first.
Shooting 2.
Gilder averaging 12 points per game. Team high 47% from 3 in the tournament, which is kind of surprising because you've got guys that are shooting well over 40% on the year in Woolridge and Kispert. Tilly shot 40% from beyond the arc, but instead it's Gilder who averaged 36%, who is 7% better in these 4 games. This tournament, Mike, just all about who gets hot at the right time. It's all about matchups as well, and for Gonzaga, they haven't had the easiest road. Got by Siena, beat Oklahoma. Oregon was a tough matchup in the Sweet 16, and then outlasting 3-seed Michigan State and Tom Izzo in the Elite 8. That game went to overtime.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at those matchups too, Siena, they absolutely rolled. The second round game, they rolled through. The hardest game was that Michigan State game. Because Oregon, I mean, that was a tough matchup, and then Gonzaga showed up, and they showed why they were the 1 seed in the biggest way. This team is built to succeed. However, especially now with Woolridge on the bench with 2 fouls. Mark Few having to juggle lineups, and Seton Hall making this game messy enough, which is not something we expected, to maintain a half-dozen lead.
Yeah, so at this point, it's either Gilder or Ayayi on the ball. Right now, Gilder running the offense with 10 to shoot. Around it goes to the wing, and the 3 won't go for Gonzaga as Powell takes down his first board. Up ahead it goes, and an easy deuce. Rodin's got 6.
God, like a Superman pass up ahead.
And thrown
Gonzaga.
away.
There's nearly a half hour of basketball left, fellas. Chill out.
Well, that was something that Seton Hall did extremely well in that 10-point win over top seed Baylor in the Elite Eight. They turned over the Bears 16 times, only gave it away 7, although half of those 16 were probably in overtime.
Yeah, that was one of the greatest 5 minutes of defense in a big game I've ever done seen.
Either that or some of the worst offense we've ever seen in overtime. I think you can go both ways. Seven minutes left, 4 on the shot clock right now. Swing it to a long 3 off front rim, and Petrushev has his 4th rebound of the game. 8-point deficit now for the Zags. And once again, look, Mike, Seton Hall getting right back on defense after the miss.
And they're pressuring on the perimeter, too.
Got Obiagu playing everywhere at 7'2", 265, and now Rodin is right in the face of Gilder. Down to 15 to shoot. Petrushev off a couple of fakes. Wide open 3 in the corner, and Ayayi can't hit.
Goodness, Mamukilashvili has 6 rebounds already, gobbling them up. Hungry, hungry hippos from Sandro on the inside.
And if Gonzaga has a 3 in this game, there's 1 or 2, and that's it. They have been dreadful from beyond the arc in the first 14 minutes. I mean, stuck on 14 points.
Of course, as we saw with BYU and TJ Hawes in the Sweet 16, sometimes you get that halftime break and you come back and things are different.
This might be the lowest scoring first half that we have seen so far in this tournament. At least I certainly have personally, as Petrushev earns 2 trips to the free throw line. Obiagu picking up number 2.
Shooting 2.
Petrushev also went to with Mamukilashvili, was part of that team in the Montverde Academy that ended up winning a national championship.
The Montverde, Oak Hill, Tilton, Brewster, New Hampton. There were just certain schools where you see a player come out of that prep school, you know they're well-developed and very talented.
Yeah, no doubt, and a very smart move in most cases for an extra year to be played and try to get that experience under their belt before college. Another miss, this time on the Seton Hall end, and there is Torian Thompson for his first bucket. Junior out of New York City, started his career at Syracuse. Didn't work out with the Orange in Central New York, and he transferred a bit closer to home to Kevin Willard's program. Gonzaga looking to break the 16-point mark, which they have been on for a little while. Haven't hit a field goal for some time as well. Those 2 points recently came off of free throws, and now we've got another 3 attempt for Seton Hall, and it goes down for Shavar Reynolds off the bench.
I was just about to say that it's a testament to Gonzaga's defense that they've been able to hold this game in check, and that 3 makes it a double-digit game for the first time today.
And it's back in the Pirates' hands. Reynolds on the defensive end. To the free throw stripe he goes.
Got hard foul sending Reynolds to the line.
I think a smart one right there for Ayayi. That was going to be an easy layup and maybe make Reynolds earn it. So there you go. It already worked out.
Yep. Good return on investment.
Big surprise, too, because he is an 83% free throw shooter this year.
He's got to miss those 17% of the time, right?
That is true. I believe that's how math works.
Do I have to start saying math terms again?
Hey, I'm not the best at it. I was a broadcast journalism major for a reason. What a look down low, and there's Drew Timme for the first time on the scoreboard.
You want Texas? We got even more Texas. The freshman from Richardson with a chance to cut it to 9.
And all in the Dallas area as well. Got some good basketball coming out of the DFW Metroplex.
There was so many people there. I would expect it.
It's another law, right? I mean, you've got all those people. Probably some of them are going to be good at basketball.
You would think.
Timme, a member of the West Coast Conference All-Freshman team this year. So it's a single-digit lead once again now. No chance for Nelson. Ayayi was the one that got his hands on that. Still staying with Seton Hall, 20 to shoot. Into the corner to Roden. Walled off. And back it goes to Reynolds for 3.
So much goodwill earned by the Bulldogs, and bang, Shavar Reynolds. God, what a performance off the bench he's having right now.
Yeah, quite the catalyst for this team. Oh, I don't know about that. Thompson's going to get called with the foul, but it looked like all ball to me.
Shooting 1-1.
And now Torian Thompson has 2, so I'm sure he'll sit for the rest of the half.
Well, luckily for Seton Hall, Mamu hasn't gotten into any foul trouble as Powell checks back in. Mamu, towards the end of that win against Baylor, was starting to get into that foul trouble, but he was able to hold off, ended the game with 4 fouls, even though they played into overtime.
God, look out for Reynolds now.
And there's Mamu. And it sits in. Do you get extra points for that?
I don't know. Maybe?
Mamu's been such a big part of this tournament, averaging 15 points, 8.5 rebounds per game for Seton Hall. He did have to miss 10 games earlier in the year with a fracture in his right wrist, and the Pirates really didn't skip a beat. We're still able to tie for the Big East Championship in the regular season with Creighton and Villanova.
That Big East was an absolute bear this year. What a conference.
Timme in and out. Mamu high for the rebound. We got the fired up chant starting. That's how you know. It
sounds a little different though.
It does, because you got the drum line going with it. Powell had his shot altered, but he got it back to put it in.
Drumline's intense, man. I was a trumpeter in the high school band, and drumline was intense, even just watching it.
Yeah, there's no question. I played trombone myself, but we didn't have a marching band.
Just a pep band?
No, there was really no pep band either in high school. We just, I was in jazz band and wind ensemble. Right back to the Zags. And 2 more for the Bulldogs. Give it to Umar Ballo, the freshman from Mali.
How about that little piece of smooth jazz? Great feed, great finish. Lead down to 11. Right now for the Bulldogs, got to get it into single digits before the half.
Yeah, that was Louis Armstrong-esque. The lead is 11 right now for Seton Hall. Ballo got his hands on that. He's been great off the bench, the 6'10 freshman. He had 7 steals in 5 minutes of action in Gonzaga's Elite 8 win over Michigan State. How does that even happen?
Sometimes it's good to be economical.
Under 2 minutes left before the break. And you would think for Mark Few and Gonzaga, these are pretty big minutes here.
Yeah, they need 2 or 3 good possessions here. Because mentally, it's going to be a lot different going into halftime down 12 versus down 7.
Gilder's back in right now for the Zags. 11 to shoot. Got the basketball, flip it into the corner. Ayayi a couple of pump fakes. Gets past his man McKnight. Now back out to Gilder for a wing three. Not this time. Up ahead it goes. And gives Seton Hall 2 more. This is Nelson.
God, another Superman pass right there. Everything just coming up Pirates right now.
And I'll tell you, it might be flashy, but it is very productive. Wide open lane that time for Timmy. He'll draw the foul. But I am shocked he didn't try to throw that down with more authority.
I went for the finger roll, didn't fall in, so now he has 2 with 74 seconds left in the first half.
Timmy is a 61% free throw shooter. Not a spot that we are used to seeing Gonzaga. Down at halftime, down double digits. They have basically rolled through the whole year. 2 losses on the season. One was to Michigan in the Bahamas, and then the other, of course, we talked about with BYU on senior night in Provo. Plenty of time left, and that will help after Seton Hall turns it over into Gilder's hands. Gilder looking for some help in the lane to Timmy. Under a minute left now before the intermission. 11-point deficit. And that helps from the top of the key, Gilder.
You say 11, I say 8. Gilder from what, about the 3rd or 4th row. Dropping that in, and they'll get one more shot.
Seton Hall back the other way.
Nelson with 5. But Miles Powell, yet again, he is without a doubt the best Pirate I've ever heard of.
Here we go. Gonzaga can hold for final shot. Gilder has got an early 9. Just cashed in that 3. Does he try it again? Working off a screen from Ballo. Instead, it's in Kispert's hands. He'll try. Not this time. McKnight's got the rebound. 3 to go from half court. In and out. 40-29, the lead for Seton Hall after 20 minutes.
So we take a look at the half box. I mean, look at that field goal percentage. I mean, just woof. Woof.
29% for Gonzaga. How about 1 of 10 from 3? If you believe in the law of averages, they are going to hit a boatload in the second half, and that could help them to their 3rd Final Four in program history. So check that there. 2nd national championship appearance in program history. We'll be back with the second half in just a moment here on the Reddit Virtual Tournament. "20 minutes down, 20 to go here in San Antonio. A spot in the national championship game on the line. It'll be either Gonzaga or Seton Hall to face BYU. And we've got early free throws just 6 seconds in to the second half with Drew Timme back to the stripe.
The Reddit Premium Free Throw Cam in the second half is brought to you by the Microsoft Zoom. Welcome to the social.
We've been needing the social these last few weeks, haven't we?
Yes. Yes, I absolutely agree with that. People are good.
Just a way to stay connected in these absolutely sometimes unbelievable times as Timmy hits both.
I'm just watching a lot of Mythbusters.
Not bad way to do it either, to watch some NCAA basketball, and glad to have you along on the Reddit Virtual Tournament. Alex Perlman, Mike Abelson, back with you here in the Final Four. Our second of 2 games. You mentioned it, Mike. Monday night, the championship here from San Antonio. And whoever wins, it should be a good one. McKnight after the spin. He's up to 7.
Look at that. So pretty. Tilly unable to close out in time. Goes right up and over. Pirates picking right up where they left off.
And once again, a double-digit lead. Full court pressure broken and no chance for Mamu on the block. He's going to pick up his second foul.
Shooting 2.
So Tilly will go to the free throw line. A 1,000-point score now in his time with Gonzaga. Was limited to just 24 games for the tournament this year because of a sprained ankle. And it was the same one that he injured. He suffered it in NBA workouts last year when they were trying to figure out, his whole camp. Do I come out? Do I go back to Gonzaga? And that injury was an easy decision maker, I think, to have him come back for senior year.
But right there, 2 points from the stripe, back to 9. You don't score 9 points at once.
And so Gonzaga's been in the 80s in every single game it has played so far in the tournament. They are going to have to do some scoring. Kind of goes without saying here in the last 20 minutes.
Scoring's good.
Got to play better defense, though, against Seton Hall.
To their defense, Seton Hall's just hitting good shots.
Sure are. Forced the miss there, though. McKnight off the mark. And back in transition now for Gonzaga. Gilder with a look off. Petrushev, nice find. And Kispert makes him pay just inside the arc.
I don't care if either of these schools have football. We have a touchdown spread here in the River City.
Here's McKnight. Foot on the arc. Gilder, a couple of hands in his face. McKnight, the extremely tough point guard for Seton Hall. Tilly rips down the Seton Hall miss, and now the lead just 7. Right back it goes, though, to Mamu.
Looks like Timmy just let it roll out of his hands.
Gotta squeeze it just a little bit more, Timmy. And no, that
Squeezing's
is
always good.
Not his first name either.
Maybe it's his middle name.
Powell no from the corner. Mamu from point-blank range sits off the rim for him. So now the Zags trying to take advantage of a couple of misses back on the Pirates' end, and they do. There's Timmy.
Great little entry pass. Just before the help side came in, goes up and floats it. Nice and easy.
He's had an excellent tournament off the bench for Gonzaga, averaging 14.5 points per game. That's actually second highest on the team. If you told me that before the tournament, I don't think I would have believed you. But the thing with the Bulldogs, as once again Timmy in transition, is that they have so many players that can hurt you. The only D1 team, 6 players averaging double figures. And if one is off, there's a great chance, Mike, that the others are going to be on. And that's why that they won 35 games so far this year.
Yeah, it becomes an unwinnable game of whack-a-mole. You neutralize one player, well, okay, Tilly will score it on you. Okay, here's Petrushev, here's Woolridge. Good luck. Oh,
that is a really hard foul by Roden. He does help Petrushev up, though. I don't think the big man is going to be too thrilled with that.
Shooting 2.
Oh, he was chopped in the back of the head. I wouldn't be either.
We're not going to get a flagrant foul on it, though. Just a good, hard, clean foul, say the officials. And Petrushev puts it in. And now with this, Gonzaga could be down just 1. This has been a great start to the second for Mark Few's team. Mark Few just got a milestone. His 600th win of his career came in the second round game against Oklahoma. His numbers are insane, though. I mean, 602 and 124 in his career. That's an 82% winning percentage. That's the best among active coaches.
And I believe at the McCarthy Center, since it opened in the early 2000s, I believe they've only lost 15 games, though.
A hard drive. Mamu's going to pick up his third. A smart one as well there for the Zags.
Shooting.
Tomorrow night on 60 Minutes, a look into the burgeoning lionfish industry in Florida, as local fisheries are fighting back against the invasive species with the motto, if you can't beat 'em, eat 'em. Catch it tomorrow night on 60 Minutes, only on CBS.
I thought we were going to get some sort of Impractical Jokers transition there, but we didn't get one. That's a 60 Minutes, huh?
Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting. The fishery folks in the southern U.S. are fighting back against the lionfish and making good cuisine along the way.
Yeah, a lot of people, I'm sure, are incredibly interested in that right now. A lot of fishermen are NCAA tournament watchers. Did you know that?
I haven't seen the demographic breakdowns that the production team has been putting together, but I would assume that fishermen are quite interested in the Reddit virtual tournament.
Yeah, you just have to trust me on that one, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if they weren't interested, I'd be a little salty about it.
A huge demographic that we have is Tilly picks up the contact that time. That's his first, Gonzaga's first, and Seton Hall free throws to come. This is Miles Kale now, the junior out of Middletown, Delaware, who did pick up two pretty early fouls for Seton Hall and sat most of the first.
For 15 years, the Cassidy Bar and Kitchen has been providing welcoming food and atmosphere in Maplewood, New Jersey. With an American-style menu, Maplewood native Tom Carlin has developed a menu that is sure to please and satisfy.
So next time I'm around that area, that's where I'm headed?
Yeah, you have that. There's the delis down there. A lot of options.
Up and good for Miles Kale, starting to assert himself offensively. First 4 points of the game coming in the last 30 seconds or so, and the lead back to 5.
Yeah, a quick little 6-2 run, giving the Pirates a little breathing room.
Here's Tilly. Got the size advantage on Kale, but he threw it right off the side of the backboard. Not great that time.
Nah, not good.
Definitely not what you want. And there is the chant that we have grown to love. Mike, we see a lot of blue in the stands, obviously, but a nice mix of navy and royal blue, I would say, as well. Both fan bases well represented.
Yep. I will say, I am surprised there isn't more red. I'm assuming that Gonzaga must sell at least 1 or 2 pieces of red merchandise.
Timmy, no. Tilly, yes.
My, oh my, how things have changed.
You think this game isn't important to the crowd? We got less than 15 minutes to go in this Final Four matchup, and pretty much all of them on their feet.
Stress will do that to you.
Pretty far trip as well. Talk about Spokane, Washington, and New Jersey. Up it goes, and Powell is going to pick up the foul. The high-flying Drew Timme. I believe it's South Orange, New Jersey. It's one of the oranges. I think it's South Orange.
Maybe it's Mandarin, Tangerine, Clementine, but we'll go with South. We'll go with South.
Cara, New Jersey. Delicious oranges, by the way. Just got some. Don't let the pink color throw you off. Incredible.
Well, if it's pink, would it still be an orange?
It is, believe it or not. Well, the outside is orange, but the flesh, I guess you would say, is pink. I'm sure the Cara industry is going to love me for that one.
Massive sponsor.
Lead just 1 now for the Pirates. Up across the midline, Obiagu threw it right back to Gilder. The Zags can take the lead with a bucket. Kispert into the corner, looking forward from Gilder. He does get it. Shovel it right back to Tilly, now Kispert again. Timmy from beyond the arc. Dribbled into trouble, but great ball movement. Keeps it now with Gonzaga at the free throw line. 10 seconds to shoot for Tilly, who pumps. Now just 5. Gilder's got to put it up towards the end of the buzzer. And tipped up to Kispert himself.
Gilder had a great lane to drive, and he crossed it right back over into the help.
Gilder for the Zags. This has not been a great trip on this side of the floor right now for Gonzaga. Stout defense for Seton Hall, and just like we thought, it would end in a turnover and 2 points the other way for Seton Hall. McKnight's got 9 on the game.
Kale, this great quick outlet pass. And then it was just a full court layup line.
Easy 2 for McKnight on our State Farm drive of the game. Lead back to 3 for the Pirates, and once again thrown away. His full court pressure from Kevin Willard has wreaked havoc. McKnight too short, though, on the 3. Petrushchev, who has just 2 points on the game. Check that 10 now. I just didn't write it down, apparently. So he's up to double figures, and that's what happens when sometimes you don't mark it on your charts.
Game down to 1. Although it still feels like Seton Hall is the one controlling this game.
Unfortunately, Mike, they weren't able to get me a stats monitor here from the broadcast booth. Powell for 2.
I usually just try and watch the game straight up, maybe catch a peek at the big screen up above, if need be.
What a look inside, and a dump in for Petrushchev, who is starting to take over. 1 point.
He's made 2/3. He's made 2/3 of his field goals. Gonzaga sticking right with him. 12-10 to go.
Powell. Dish it inside Obiagu with the left.
Big man with a big play, and almost a steal right there.
Gonzaga's got to be careful as they bring the ball up. Seton Hall's just been able to torment the Zags with that. And another miss from 3, but Timmy's there for the rebound. He'll take the jumper himself and miss. Oh, Petrushchev. Goaltend on Obiagu. Points go to Zags.
Substitution on the court.
A couple new players now coming in for Kevin Willard with just a 1-point edge. This has been the classic that we had hoped for here in our second game of the Final Four night in San Antonio, as Reynolds now just 1 away from double digits.
A great game off the bench for 33 in blue.
Reynolds did have 9 in the win against Baylor. And they are going to get a slap on the wrist that time on Reynolds. Just his second.
However, it's the team's 6th, so next foul formally puts Gonzaga in the bonus the rest of this game.
9 minutes into half number 2 at the Alamo Dome. Gonzaga can tie with a triple. Though that has not been the MO for the Bulldogs, who are an outstanding shooting three-point team. But maybe it says more about the way the Bulldogs are able to put points up, as Gilder with the inside look. They have not really missed a beat, and they haven't hit threes.
Yeah, it's a 1-point game. It's basically right where you want it to be right now.
There's Reynolds again. He has been able to hit from deep. Didn't that time, but Thompson helped him out.
Again, up and down the bench, the Pirates getting contributions big and small. That's why they've been able to stay ahead thus far in the second half.
Gonzaga just not really been able to get over the hump. They make a run. Seton Hall counters right back. And Obiagu Picks up the foul, his third.
It's Heath Ledger's final film, a performance that will last through the sands of time. Catch it all on Impractical Jokers, only on True TV.
Now you can sign me up for that one. Anything with Heath Ledger, let's go.
Also, anything with the Impractical Jokers. It's the same show every time, but it brings a couple yucks.
Always pretty enjoyable, though. Those guys know how to have a good time.
Yeah?
It's at the expense of others, of course, but still enjoyable.
Well, but they're usually the butt of the joke. Like, they're not hurting other people.
Right, of course. Bit too much that time. Petrushev now getting closer and closer to a double-double. Just an average bucket can tie this game at 58. Take the lead with a 3. Petrushev over to a wide-open three-point shot from the top of the arc. Kispert gets it to go.
God, so pretty. And now, for the first time in a long time, Gonzaga has the lead.
And the fans from Spokane starting to get louder and louder now. Here in San Antonio. Powell after the fake. Saved in by Tilly. And you can really start Uncle Mo, or rather feel Uncle Mo starting to head towards Gonzaga. Nine minutes left for a spot in the national championship game against BYU.
10 on the shot clock. Look how spread out this offense is.
Petrushev, nice look inside. Woolridge, yes, and a foul. Good time for Ryan Woolridge to pick up his first points.
Leading 1-1.
It's also Cale's third. Woolridge has been extremely quiet. But right now, he has helped Gonzaga to a 4-point edge, erasing a double-digit deficit in the first half. Yes, from the top of the key, though, Powell.
Right when they need it most, who steps up? The big man, Riles Powell. Huge jump shot. 62-60.
I would say he's played just a little bit better than the Elite Eight win.
Just a touch.
Roden to do it himself.
I was going to say that was a bad shot, but it went in and it's the Final Four, so it was a good shot.
And now a 1-point edge for the Pirates. Now we're seeing the high scoring we're used to. Gilder fakes, now points out the offense. Cale's right there, though he has those 3 fouls. To a wide open 3. Not this time, but it's Petrushev to put it back. Now we're just flip-flopping the lead between Seton Hall and Gonzaga. Cale passed up the wide-open 3 and dribbled into a double team for some reason. To Powell, and he's got it!
17 points. Big players, big games.
That's his average for the tournament in the 4 games here for the Pirates. Gilder to start the offense. Petrushev looks into the corner for his fellow big man, Tilly. Another 3 on the way. Not this time for Kispert.
You know, you see after Tilly comes up to reset the offense, he goes back in the corner. You got to get underneath.
Powell's got back-to-back 3s.
A massive pick just decked Kispert.
What a move to get the opening, but he was swatted away by Kispert.
Taking out all that fury from getting picked.
Gonzaga can tie with the 2. And so Petrushev, who earned the foul against Cale, it's his 4th. And now the Pirates are going to have to make a choice. Keep Cale in and deal with those 4 fouls, or you put him back on the bench.
Substitution.
Yeah, I would sit him for a bit.
There he goes, along with Reynolds. How about this game for Petrushchev, the reigning West Coast Conference Player of the Year and second-team All-American now as 19. And we are tied at 66. 6:40 to go here in the Final Four.
Oh boy.
Tapped away by Gilder. Wide open, opening to the hole.
I mean, usually I would never condone theft, but these are exceptional circumstances tonight here in San Antonio. What a play by Gilder.
You certainly would if you were a Zags fan. And it spins through for Roden. What an unsung hero for the Pirates.
Has not missed a shot from the field all game.
Knotted once again. 6 minutes remaining. Gilder thought about it, but McKnight in his face. Inside it goes Petrushchev. Thompson picks up his third. 10th on the team, so Gonzaga, no matter what, shooting 2 on any foul. One more upcoming. Only 65% on the year, but Petrushchev has not shot like that so far in this game, and he has the Bulldogs up 2.
70-68, 5:50 to go.
Roden drew his man in the air. Gonzaga recovers, though. Mamu can't hit. Chance to add to the lead now for Gilder. Look at inside, and McKnight picks up the contact. Woolridge to the line.
Again, Gonzaga doing the small things right. That's why they've been able to spin this now 13 points here in the second half.
Woolridge just 61% from the line, though the Bulldogs have been great so far. And a point guard out of Mansfield, Texas, can give Gonzaga a 4-point edge. This is winning time right now, and the Bulldogs know how to do just that. Mark of 35-2 coming into this game. It's good from the wing for Powell.
20 points, Miles Powell. He's racking up the miles. He's racking up the frequent airline miles right now, though, these three-pointers.
He's got it once again for Seton Hall after the turnover. Bulldogs have not taken care of the basketball. Mamu back out to McKnight. Take the lead with a bucket here for the Pirates. And we are edging on 5 minutes left here in regulation. To Powell for a wide open 3. In and out. Mamu, yes, with the putback.
We wind under 5 now. 4:53 to go. Folks, business is about to pick up. This is going to be a fun ending.
Winner takes on BYU in the national championship. Both schools have been there a total of 1 time. 1989 for Seton Hall. Just a few years ago, 2017 for Gonzaga, when the Bulldogs fell to UNC. No doubt, though, Mark Few has built this Bulldogs program into a perennial title contender. Powell again. Doesn't miss.
Substitution in the court.
This is the type of basketball we are used to seeing from the senior Miles Powell in his potential final game with the Pirates. Petrushchev lays it up and in.
Well, I'll say this. For all these seniors, I don't think they've ever been more passionate about wanting to go hard on a Monday.
And they will have that opportunity. Just one of the teams, though. Thompson is going to come in for Obiagu, who has 3 fouls. Both of them sitting on that number, so maybe if Obiagu picks up a 4th, he'll get out of the game as McKnight launches. Long jumper, no. Now Gonzaga a chance to tie or take the lead. Petrushev wants it just beyond the arc. Double team comes in the corner. Gilder decides to dribble out of trouble. Over to Kispert for three. Too much. Petrushev goes back up.
Tied at 76. He just went up almost and over the back on Petrushev. But it counts all the same. We start fresh, 3.5 minutes to go.
And Petrushev up to 25 points. Tied at 76. McKnight with a wide open three.
Oh!
That's the lead right now for Seton Hall.
Good Lord, am I excited.
We can tell.
I'm happy I wore my good slippers for this one.
Petrushev again.
My God, they'll make a 30 for 30 about this game one day.
This has turned into the Petrushev-McKnight-Powell game. Backcourt for Seton Hall and the West Coast Conference Player of the Year down low for the Zags. Powell shovels. Obiagu to the line.
That's his second personal foul.
Great job drawing the foul on Tilly. At the same time, if he didn't spin, I think he would have made the bucket.
Just 2 team fouls in the half right now on Gonzaga. And huge free throws now for the big man out of Nigeria and the Florida State transfer. Pirates were deadlocked in a tight one towards the end of regulation against Baylor. Miles Powell at the buzzer had a chance to win. His 3 rimmed out, but no harm, no foul for Seton Hall. They scored 10 points, outscored Baylor 18-8 in overtime, and it was a 10-point win, that is, when it was all said and done. Back to the Pirates it goes. Gonzaga turns it over again. McKnight. Tamamu double teamed. Feed it to Powell. The leading scorer, back out it goes. Long to McKnight. In and out. Petrushev has it. Double-double, easily corralled. 27 points, 12 rebounds for the sophomore. The atmosphere absolutely electric in the Alamo Dome.
Feed Petrushev. Get it to number 3. Get it deep inside. Let him go to work.
Working on Obiagu now. Towards the bottom of your screen. Gilder with 9 to shoot. Tilly, who has been quiet here in the second half, looking for help. It's Kispert. No on the 3. Under 2 minutes to go, a 2-point edge for Seton Hall with the ball. This has been everything you can ask for and more. Step back, Powell. Blocked away by Woolridge. Guard-on-guard crime there with 1.5 minutes to go. Kispert lays it up and in, and we're tied.
86-second basketball game. Oh, mama. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be an absolute thriller down the stretch. Interesting call. Obiagu sitting down. Little smaller lineup with Thompson.
Now, I don't know if Seton Hall is going to get to that 90-point mark where they have been at least in every game so far this tournament. This could help, and it does! Powell again!
I am in awe.
The big players stepping up in the most significant moments. Powell putting the Pirates up 3, less than a minute remaining. Now it's in the hands of the leading scorer, Petrushev. Spin around, off the mark. Can they make it a 2-possession game? Just thrown up to Gonzaga. What is Seton Hall doing there?
I am without speech. How are you throwing an alley right there?
Petrushev again. Now in the hands of Woolridge. 11-second game clock to shot clock difference. Woolridge for 3. No! McKnight pulls it down, and Tilly has to commit the foul.
Of course, the problem now, that's just the 3rd team foul on Gonzaga, so they're going to run through a good chunk of time just trying to get them to the line.
Very quick one right there for Gilder, but you are right.
Substitution.
Still 2 fouls to give for the Bulldogs, and they'll hope to steal the inbounds pass.
Substitution on the court.
Well, luckily, these fouls committed like with 0.2 seconds off of the clock, so it's not going to hurt too much at this moment. And there comes the foul at 24.5 ticks remaining.
Penalty
Foul
situation.
on Gilder, and it is his 4th. So one thing, Mike, you don't want him to commit another one because he'll foul right out of this game. And instead, smartly, Kispert comes over to commit just his 2nd. And so
Gilder, though,
we
still
have free throws coming up now. A big 1-and-1 for McKnight.
Gilder, though, still tried to slow McKnight down and allowed Kispert to get over.
Substitution on the court.
2-possession game with 22.8 ticks left. Does Gonzaga fall short here in the Final Four?
Substitution on the court.
You need a 3 at this point?
I think you might.
Gotta go quick. They swing it around to Kispert. Got it to go! Gonzaga not done yet.
That's his second.
Petrushiev wraps up McKnight, and he has 2 more free throws, but he is their best shooter from the line. 85% this season and just hit 2 big ones.
I think it's actually a 1-and-1.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right.
And it goes. Yeah,
And
but
McKnight
still
makes the
now,
first
I mean, this one might do it.
to make it a 2-possession game again. Yes.
Substitution on the court.
Could get a quick 2 here if you're Gonzaga. But they threw it away. To McKnight for 3. I don't know why he chucked that up, but it's not going to matter. For just the 2nd time in program history, Seton Hall into the national championship game.
Of course, player of the game, Miles Powell. What a performance. What a basketball game. Alex, I'll see you Monday night.
We will, and what a matchup we have for you with BYU and Seton Hall, 2 high-scoring programs, and that should be an absolute classic. Final thoughts, Mike?
I mean, that will go down. If Seton Hall can win on Monday, this performance tonight will go down in legend in New Jersey by Miles Powell. What a game.
The Pirates take down their 2nd straight 1 seed. First it was Baylor in the Elite 8. Now it's Gonzaga in the Final Four, and we will see them in the national championship to take on BYU Monday night. Cannot wait. So excited, and thanks so much for joining us here for this Final Four matchup between Gonzaga and Seton Hall. With Mike Abelson, I'm Alex Perlman saying so long from San Antonio. We will see you Monday night here on the Reddit Virtual Tournament.